I already opened the board of the Bantu, but I am going to reopen it again. Okay. Welcome to the reading of Michelle Loud versus um, Cora Jakes Coleman. Okay, two mothers fighting for a child. And before I begin, full disclosure, as always, with me. And it's going to be a long disclosure, so let me sit like a good old woman, okay, and do this business. Yeah, let me sit like a good old woman and do this business. And also time myself, because timing myself is required, but I will put it at 45 minutes. 45 minutes, because I have to get up and stretch my legs, yeah. Okay, so when I was born, my mother gave me away. Yes, she did. It was African style adoption where no papers are given and where no date or deadline is given as to when can I get my child back. My mother was so deeply disappointed that she had given birth to a girl, to the point that even as I was walking in our neighborhood, when I went to the city where I was born, as an adult. And then I said, oh, this is where I was born, and people remembered me. And they said, oh, you're the one who was supposed to be a boy. And in the whole city of Mutare, everybody was saying that to me. Oh, the one who was supposed to be a boy, because my mother was so convinced I was a boy. She told everybody I was a boy. And when I was a girl, she immediately rejected me. The rejection was mutual. I rejected her too. I would not drink her milk. And the rejection has been permanent, no matter how hard I have tried to, create a bond between her and me. And she has tried a couple of times to create a bond between me and her as well. But that's not what this story is about. The story is about the fact that she gave me away when I was a few days old to a much older couple whose children had all grown and left. And I was raised by this other mother whom I still adore and whom I still weep for. I was raised by her. She was the only mother I knew. And incidentally, because they were related, my mother and her were related, we were always meeting, and I loathed my mother. I never knew why I loathed her. Not only did I loathe her, I was afraid of her. You can read all that in my biography that is on my website. I even forget my biography now because I'm all choked up. I'm so emotional about this story that I am about to put in front of the courts of the Bantu. Okay, so on my website, I have my biography, A Light in the Cave. You can read all about that. The point is, thank you, God. See, I'm all choked up. Okay, the point is, I was taken away from my biological parents. And when I asked my dad how he could do it many years later, he said it's because he had more money and he could. And he also thought he could give me a better lifestyle financially. And he also thought that he didn't want me to be poor when my siblings were rich, because my parents couldn't offer me the kind of lifestyle that he could offer me. I mean, he had logic reasons. And the last one being, I didn't know that your mother had given you away permanently. Bringing me into the house destroyed my father's marriage to my mother because she loathed me. She didn't want to see me at all. And so I was taken from my adoptive mother who adored me. I was the light of her life. Yes, we lived in poverty, but I was the light of my parents' life. And I was taken to a bigger house with all this jazz and more food and what have you. And I was brutalized by my biological mother. And I never quite assimilated with the other kids, because my mother continued to have kids after she had given me away, and she adored those kids. So many incidents of abuse I can share with you. I never assimilated with them, and it still stands to this day. I have siblings, biological siblings. We don't talk, we don't see each other. I don't know what's going on with them. They don't care about what's going on with me. As far as they are concerned, I'm dead. Okay. Have I done anything to them? No. But they go with their mother. So, When I watched the video of Michelle crying about how Cora took her child away and how she wants her child back, I was like, nope. I was on Cora's side. I was like, I don't give about what you're saying right now, what you're weeping about right now. Because Ed, you let your hand go. You took your hand off your child. That child is no longer yours. You cannot have buyer's remorse. You cannot. You were given something by Cora. I was sure of it. I said, you cannot be remorseful. Now, this child, this little boy, Jason, he truly believes Cora is his mother. His first loyalty is to her. His love is to her. No matter what is going on in that household, that is his household. He is no longer yours. So I was sorry for her, but I wasn't sorry for her. Okay. So my friends and I had this whole conversation, and they said, you are so biased. I said, yes, my experiences make me biased. You're taking someone from their very foundation. For instance, all my likes, my dislikes are my adoptive mother. There were things she didn't eat that I still don't eat. You know, the way she carried on with her life is the way I carry on with my life. When I cry for my mom, I'm crying for my adoptive mom who passed away when I was snatched from her. The grief was too much for her. A few months later, she'd always been sick. Her daughter, I know that. I lived with her. And then to have this happen to her was more than her heart could take, and she died. She stopped taking her medication, which to me is suicide, and she died. And I don't want to talk about that because that was my mom. Anyway, when I grew up and I was working in Harare, there were so many of us whom that happened to. Okay, this adoption, African style, where you just give away your child and then one day you just feel like, okay, I'm coming to get my child because my child is still my child. I don't care that I haven't seen this child. I don't care that give me my child. There were so many of us, and we actually created a support group because we didn't fit in with our second families, our biologicals. We didn't fit in with them, and we missed those other homes, but there was no way we could go because African culture says, respect your biologicals are more important to you than where you came from. And a few in that support group tried to commit suicide. They were males too who tried to commit suicide, and we had to be there for each other, and it was an informal group. But I hate this part of our culture with a passion for one reason only. When you give away your child, don't you dare come back. Don't you dare. So that's how I reacted to Michelle Lourd. I said, don't you dare come back. Just stay where you are. Don't you dare. But my ancestors allowed me to do these readings for a reason. So now that I have shared my prejudice, I am going to try very hard, like I always do, to remove my energy out of this. I am going to try very hard. I'm just reminded of the story of the two women who fought for a child in the Bible. And then the actual mother said she can keep the child rather than we killing the child, right? And I just think that any woman who's given up their child should also say that. You keep the child. Keep it. I'm going to love this child enough to leave them where they are. Yes, she is using the backstory that her husband, Cora's husband, was sexually abusing his daughter. That's actually his biological daughter, as we saw when we were looking at the picture. She is his biological daughter. He had her with some non-white female. It's almost like it was IVF. It wasn't a relationship. It was like IVF, right? Anyway, that is his biological daughter, but not her biological daughter, right? So she's using that reason that this man could have been sexually abusing my son. But my mind that goes back to those days. I say it doesn't matter what was happening in that household. My adoptive parents were not rich, not at all. They were straight from the village. It doesn't matter. It should be sorted in that household. And now this little boy needs his mama, Cora, more than he needs Michelle. So I told you where I stand. Boom. Welcome to the board of the Bantu, our board of justice, our board of truth, where we remove what we, as the chosen, feel, think, want to see. And we stand on nothing but the truth. This board belongs to the Xhosa. This board is run by the Xhosa on behalf of all the Bantu. And today, this chosen is going to do one of the hardest readings she's ever going to do. Asking for God's strength and God's light. Amen. Michelle Lourd versus Cora. I took notes while Michelle was talking. My heart did bleed for her from one mother to another, but I still stand on what I say. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Even if I was standing in front of God, I would still, I am hopefully going to be good enough to stand at God's feet, and I am going to say exactly what I'm saying now. So anyway, I watched her video and listened to what she was saying and the accusations she threw at Cora Jakes Coleman, and I wrote them down. She said she was going through abuse, right? And she leaned on Cora Jakes for help. And Cora Jakes brought prophets and used spirituality to mix her mind, to confuse her, to make her give up her son. Basically, she's saying that Cora Jakes manipulated her into giving up her son, Jason. And then when she realized that Cora Jakes had manipulated her, in giving up her son, she went to court. But then Cora used the fake counseling she'd been doing with her against her in court. She paid this woman's lawyer off. She paid the judge off. She paid everybody. Everybody. If there was a runner in that courthouse, she paid them. She paid the witnesses. She paid everything. Everybody. This woman also says Cora Jakes. I forgot. I wrote it down though. So let me see. What else did she say? Cora Jakes had done this to many, many women. She was the only one who bit. Okay? She was the only one who bit. So we're going to ask her why she was the only one who bit. I'm sure as a person who's not in the veil, I understand that she didn't know that Cora Jakes had approached other people until she started her court case. That's pretty much how that works out. So, okay. Blow. Again. Blow. Again. Blow. Again. Okay. I'm going to call Michelle. Michelle first, and then Cora. Michelle. This woman is nervous. This woman is jittery. This woman is nervous and jittery and afraid. She's very afraid. She can't sit down. She's like, walking. confused, nervous, jittery, afraid. She doesn't know what is going to happen to her. She is standing in uncertainty, in the uncertainty of her life. She really thinks that something horrible is going to happen to her. She thinks she's going to die. She is feeling the power of those who have power in this world. Please sit down, Michelle. You're not going to die in our plates. Do not let us take this. You're not going to die in our plate, Mama. Kindness. You're not going to die in our plate. Sit down, please. Thank you. So she sits down. She is obviously going through it. She is crying and sobbing like a baby. I don't have my blues anymore. I just have migraines, and I'm not standing up to get my blues, but I could have given her the compassion of my grandmother's blues. Oh yeah, thank you, Grandma. Okay, this is going to take longer than... Okay, so it's all going to be okay. Yeah, my ancestor said cover her with the blue that's on your table. It's all gonna be okay. God's light is shining on both of us. Very good. Right now, at this moment, in this place and time, nothing is going to happen to you. Right now. This lady has substance abuse problems. She has substance abuse problems. She tries to get clean, and then, she handles it. She is one of those people who handle their substance abuse without actually falling to the very end. She really does handle it. She tries to handle it as much as she can. This lady has she has substance abuse problems. So she's sitting down now. She is not crying anymore. She's very frail. This is a very frail soul. It's a very, very frail soul. It's got energy, but the energy is frail because of the way she's been living her life. She has burnt out her light faster than is possible with the majority of people because she has substance abuse problems. It's kind of pathetic. She's kind of one of those down and out people, kind of giving up on life. That's what we're hearing. Hi, Michelle. She says hi. Welcome. She says, you don't like me. I'm trying very hard to fight. She says, you think I'm wrong in going after my son? Yes, I do. She says, because of your experiences? Yes. I know that I'm not the best thing for my son. Thank you for acknowledging that. But he's still mine. I withhold comment. I withhold comment, but he's still mine. I still love him. Besides, how am I going to get money? Oh, what do you mean? I need more money. From Cora? Yes. The least she can do is to be kind to me. I gave her a child. That is true. Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle. This is a very shallow individual. She is sweet though. She is very sweet. very giving, and that's why she found herself in this situation. Obviously, she gave up her baby. Okay. But she's very sweet. She's very um understanding. She is the type that people go to for advice. She is also very reckless with her life. She makes bad choices, bad decisions. She's not very maternal. Regardless of what she says, there is no maternalism in her at all. She is very fertile. Yeah, extremely so. We see several abortions, we see live births, and then we see, fertility. She's got great fertility. She is blessed by God. She doesn't have ambition, but that's okay. Not everybody does. This is a soul, though, that has never hurt anybody, that's never harmed anybody. She just wants to live and let live. And she just wants to be able to sustain her existence, more of her existence than the existence of her children. Okay, motherhood, she would not get the award for that. And of course, you all know that because she gave away her child anyway. So, motherhood, she would not get. Right. She's going through some financial issues right now. She is broke. She is poor. And there was, according to her, a sum that was exchanged between her and Cora when it came to Jason. And now she is hoping she can get a little bit more. She says, I know I've done Cora wrong. I know I broke our agreement and I talked about it. I know that, but I wasn't in my right mind. Yes, we did notice that there is a little bit of we did notice that there is a little bit of mental health issues going on there with her. We feel they've been caused by drug use over a lengthy period of time. So now so she feels like Cora could have donated to her. So it appears that Cora has been handing packets of money to her on a regular basis. She's been handing packets of money to her on a regular basis, and she has been enjoying it. But she really, truly did panic at one point about the sexual abuse because she is pretty kind and she thought she would want to take her child out of there, and the fact that she hadn't seen her child in a long time.